In this video, I'll demonstrate QTCoder's operation. Prior to starting the video, I downloaded Liquid Crypto and placed it on my desktop. Let's go ahead and start the program. If I double-click on a non-empty text box, it'll clear it. If I double-click again, it'll return the original text. QTCoder is a three-step process. First, it filters to the 95 QWERTY characters, the carriage return, and the tab key. Filtering allows a no E key operation. Step 2 is that it'll encode whatever text you provide it. This is what causes the chaos. And step 3, it converts all the encrypted text to a base 64 for email survivability. In a couple exercises, I'll demonstrate the three-step process. Number 1, if you have non-keyboard characters, upper ASCII characters, it's going to eliminate them. So if I encode and then decode, you'll notice those 5 characters are gone. Let me return to the original text again and do that one more time. Notice these 5 characters here, all upper ASCII characters. Encode, decode, they're gone. And repeat the encode and decode. Notice on the encode it says not password protected and where to download the Liquid Crypto program. Let's return to the original text again. Also notice to the right of the QTCoder button is a character count and a wrap width. If I turn on wrap width, I can ask for example, 66 characters wide. Encode it, and you'll see it's lined up on 66 characters. You'll also notice the number of characters increases as we encode, and that's due to the fact the 64 character output requires more characters than the 98 character input. This time I'll double-click to empty the box and watch the character count. Now I'll encode an empty character set. First I'll turn off the message, and you'll notice our character count is 56. That means there's 56 encoding characters even though the text box was empty. The other thing I'd like you to notice is the fact that all the characters are changing, except for the end delimiter and the start delimiter. The 56 or the 50 characters in between are changing each time I encode and decode. Each time I encode, though, the character's composition changes. Now I'll start adding a couple characters, or one at a time here. 1. Now notice that the character count went from 56 to 66. And I can add up to 9 characters, and it'll remain at 66. A 10th character, and now it goes up to, well, the character count should have been 76. However, I had the word rep turned on. Let me turn that off. And now with 10 characters, I have 76 characters. And it'll remain that way until I reach 19 characters. Still 76, and then a 19th character, 86. So you see how the output grows. Now I'll do something a little bit more interesting, and that is I'm going to encode a pile of X's. Let me turn on word wrap to Now with this little box check, a couple of things happen. Number one is it told us that it's not password protected, and we could protect it with a password. It also creates a couple reports, up to 2 reports, if the character count is sufficient. Because I encoded more than 1,600 characters, I will have an R1 report. Open up my documents. And as you can see, I have an L1 report. And this reports character counts for each of the 64 characters in the output. And I could also graph that in an Excel spreadsheet if I wanted to. If the character count gets higher, let me minimize that. The magic number here is 40,960. So let me again encode that. And now I'm going to have a second report. And the second report has all the occurrences of any 2 characters in a row in the base 64 output. And as you can see, this has a little bit more variation, or at least as a percent of character counts, anywhere from 4 to, say, 20 or 30. Anything with a high number of counts, that would be the suspicious areas where you could see if there's any repeat patterns. And I'll leave you to do that on your own.